In many ways, Magic the Gathering is the card game. Playing Magic is a constantly evolving experience with tens of thousands of cards, a multitude of formats, and decades of history. But in recent years, Magic has been reinventing itself a bit. Commander has eclipsed all other formats in popularity, and 60-card Magic has taken a bit of a backseat. Now, I love Commander as much as the next guy, but if you're like me and you've been feeling the itch to play 60-card Constructed again, or if you're a Commander player looking for something to do with all the duplicates you pulled, allow me a moment to present Pioneer as the definitive way to get a more traditional Magic experience without too much monetary investment. Now, for those that don't know, Pioneer consists of every Premier set from Return to Ravnica forward. It's a non-rotating format, so you don't have to worry about your decks having a short shelf life if you don't play very often, but it also has a low enough power level that most new sets can make at least a few meaningful additions to the metagame. The meta is fairly stable, but it often feels a little unexplored compared to other formats, leaving plenty of opportunities for homebrews and experimentation. But you may have noticed, I said it consists of Premier sets, and what that means is sets like Modern Horizons are not legal. With the release of Modern Horizons 3 so close to the release of this video, obviously there's a pretty big push right now to play the format that's getting all the shiny new cards. Direct to Modern sets are becoming more and more common, and generally they're really cool. But direct to modern sets are a double-edged sword. From the One Ring and Orcish Bowmasters to basically every card in Modern Horizons 2, Modern has been warped beyond recognition by power creep, driving older cards out of the meta at an accelerated rate. The increased power level of Modern also translates to a much higher price point, with the majority of Modern decks costing more than even the most expensive Pioneer options. And direct to Modern sets often cost more than double per booster pack what a Premier set would cost. This exclusion of direct to modern sets also leaves Pioneer in the unique position of being the only non-rotating format to dodge the vast majority of Universes Beyond cards. Now, I do enjoy Universes Beyond in a more casual Commander setting, and I have found it to be an excellent way of getting newer players into the game, but personally, I find the appearance of non-Magic characters in more competitive and traditional formats jarring, and I really do welcome the opportunity to play a format that mostly sticks to the traditional Magic aesthetic. Although, to be fair, who knows how long that will last with the amount of Universes Beyond sets coming up. So, to review, Pioneer is a non-rotating format with less direct power creep than Modern or Legacy, at a significantly lower price point, and without most of the controversial Universes Beyond products. But absolutely none of this matters if the format isn't fun. So is it fun? Well, yeah, it's pretty fun. Like with any format, there are going to be decks and strategies you don't exactly look forward to playing against, but Pioneer feels pretty balanced for the most part. There's a decent mix of aggro, control, and combo, and there's even a pretty respectable amount of the value-based mid-range decks that I love so much. Izzet Phoenix is the best deck in the format, or at least the most popular, and has been for some time, but while it and the other top decks are certainly tough to beat, I really struggle to think of anything in the format that feels blatantly unfair. As I mentioned earlier, I also struggle to think of a better format for homebrewing. The possibilities are endless. Personally, I'm a big fan of midrange, like I said, so I've been working on a borderline viable version of Abzan midrange, starring the best Magic card of all time, Siege Rhino. I've also experimented with a couple of Abzan Hardened Scales lists, starring the best Magic card of all time, Siege Rhino. And I've even been known to try out a couple of Abzan aggro lists, starring the best Magic card of all time, Siege Rhino. While I'm fully aware that some of you heretics do not properly understand the magnificence that is the best Magic card of all time, Siege Rhino, I'd appreciate it if you stood far away from me before you recommend I run something like Sheoldred instead, so that I am not accidentally taken out with you when the great Rhino in the sky strikes you down. But on a serious note, if homebrewing isn't your thing, meta decks are extremely easy to come by. Pre-built challenger decks are available for extremely cheap and viable with just a little bit of upgrading, and even building meta decks from scratch is pretty affordable, with budget options featuring a lot of cards that Commander-loving pack addicts are pretty likely to own anyways. So where's the catch? Now, admittedly, Pioneer is not the most popular format, otherwise I wouldn't be releasing a video advocating for it. And this isn't just in comparison to Commander, but in comparison to other 60-card formats too. It's the newest of the main formats, coming out in just 2019, and to be honest, it never really got its wings under it before COVID just obliterated in-person play for a couple years. That lack of history and Wizards' weirdly slow pace when it comes to putting Pioneer on Magic Arena has hamstrung the format a bit, but it's by far my favorite way to play Magic. And if you can find a playgroup in your area or at your local game store, I think it's the back-to-basics format anyone can enjoy. And as Magic continues to change, I think Pioneer will only shine more as a bit of a more traditional way to play Magic, because jokes aside, there really is something to be said about a 60-card constructed format in 2024 where I don't lose the absolute second I play Siege Rhino.